Good morning, all. Campfire Dan. Another episode of Three Guys in a Campfire. We got Dippy Dog to my right. We got Ginger to my left. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, man.
Pretty good. I feel like that sounded like a really bad porn the way you opened this up.
Yeah,
You guys in the campfire?
yeah, well, the campfire ain't here right now because we don't have enough rain.
We haven't had enough rain. Also haven't had enough time to get one rocking.
No.
Yeah.
Also, we've all been busy. Which, speaking of, how was everybody's weekend? We had
Well-
Father's Day weekend this weekend.
Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Yes.
I'm not a father, but happy Father's Day to you guys.
Well, happy Father's Day.
I knew what you were
wishings,
saying, but-
wishings for you.
Yeah, for everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
don't do it anytime soon. It's just a trap, I promise.
That's what I heard. I got to meet my nephew this weekend.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep, we did a cookout for my birthday.
Cool.
We had a
Happy birthday.
Yep, we had a birthday cookout Saturday. Did a great thing.
Nice.
I went to my family. We ended up cooking. I'd say probably close to almost 18 pounds of meat. Ended with one quart bag of smoked chicken left at the end of the cookout between 10 people. So
I was a little drunk and didn't eat. I had like a couple pieces of that second chicken, and what was left is what I didn't touch, because that was all that was left when I was done cooking.
yeah, oh yeah, no, it was a lot. There was people as soon as that food started coming off. I tell you what, when I do a cookout, it's barbecued ribs, brats, normally chicken, some burgers, and it's a grab and growl. As soon as I hit the
Yep.
table, grab it. If people are in your way and they're just standing there, growl at them and get them out of your way to get your food.
Pretty much. Like, if we have a cookout at his house, he does all the meats and whatnot, and I'll do all the sides. It's kind of vice versa at our house, at
Yeah.
my house.
Yeah, no, it works good.
Yeah. Because I did potatoes and asparagus, and
Which we also did. And there's
Yeah.
another thing. We did 10 pounds of potatoes.
we did do 10 pounds of potatoes.
We did 10 ears of corn. We did asparagus. I did two
Forgot
chickens
about
that
the
were
corn.
5.5 pounds. I did a 7-pound rack of ribs and 12 brats, and they were just all of it demolished.
Before I
gone.
got done cooking the potatoes, the brats were gone.
Yep.
And there was a rib left, and I took the one rib that was left.
Yeah, and then there was,
Not that we're endorsing anything, but did you use the Blackstone?
I
oh
did.
yes,
Yeah. Again, not endorsing it, but I love that sumbitch.
Right,
Blackstone was awesome. So now we use the Blackstone. We did the chickens on an electric smoker.
Yep, I got an electric smoker. It's a Charbroil, and I love that thing.
Yep, and it worked perfectly.
Love it.
We did the ribs on my infrared grill. We did the brats on my infrared grill. I did the corn on a
your barrel smoker.
It was a barrel smoker that I used like a grill until the ribs and the brats were done, and then I switched it over because it wasn't getting hot enough to supply the heat that the corn needed to cook. So I swapped it over to my infrared grill. But he did the potatoes. So it was potatoes, bacon, and onions. They're
Yeah.
called camp potatoes.
Camp potatoes.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you what else is in there, because that's my
No,
recipe.
there's a bunch of seasonings that go into it.
Oh,
And
But I'll
we
give you
did
the
that
three
on the
basic
black. We
ingredients.
did that on the Blackstone. He did the asparagus on the Blackstone, and it was, no, dude, it was a fabulous cookout. Everybody came. There were babies. My wife was happy. She was tickled pink. She got to snuggle babies
Oh, yeah.
all night long.
So we got him a Blackstone last year for Father's Day. His father, because his birthday was actually Father's Day this year.
Yep.
And last year, his birthday was the day before Father's Day.
Mhm.
So I pitched in with his wife and his mom and all that, and we all got him like a birthday, Father's Day, big old, one present type of thing.
Yep.
And we
And
got
then
him,
the only reason they did it was because
it was the only thing he asked for.
My mom called, and she goes, "What does he need for his birthday? I can't ever find a good gift to get him. I don't know what to do besides give him money on his birthday." She goes, "Here's what we do. We go into Lowe's, and every time we go to Lowe's, he grabs the box with the Blackstone on it, and just wants to take it home." 2 weeks before my birthday, I had the money in my account. We walked into Lowe's to grab stuff for the bathroom renovations I've been doing on my house. And my wife looks at me. I grabbed the Blackstone and I set it on a flat. My wife goes, "Don't do that. We ain't got the money for it." I said, "I have the money in my account right now. I'm spending the money. I'm getting Blackstone." She goes, No, just wait a couple weeks. We'll get it on your birthday if you really want it. Wait till you get your birthday money." Well, lo and behold, these guys had already had it, already set up that they were going to buy it. So they hadn't
No.
bought it yet, but the plan was set in motion, so they didn't want me buying my own.
Right.
The next day, we took my truck up to Lowe's, and we threw it in my truck, and we got him the biggest one they had. It was a 36
36-inch griddle. And it was
with
just
the lid and all the things, and
It was just
you
a
know.
basic one. Which now, have you seen some of the
Oh,
ones
yeah, they
have?
got
They got deep fryers,
deep fryers,
on
they
the
got air
bottom.
fryers, you know.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, and I was like, man, I kind of want one of these too, you know. I guess I'll see how well it works when we use it with him. But I think the funniest part about it, and I don't know if you noticed, but he rode in my truck, and it sat in my truck for 2 weeks. And we rode around in my truck for 4
Was
or
he
5.
really in your truck all that time?
Oh yeah,
Oh, dude, I didn't. Are you kidding me?
yeah. I
Is
put
that
the
what-
subs.
Is that what that blanket was for in the back?
There was no blanket. It was just all my shit.
I thought it was the sleeping bags from the trips we took. Oh my god! I was like, why don't we clean out your truck? And you told me no many times because I tried to clean it out so we could go fishing.
Yeah, he did. He's like, I want to clean your truck out so we can take it back up north. Because we actually took his truck up north. I think it was the weekend before your birthday. Or we took it fishing.
Yeah, we took my
Something.
truck fishing, and I was like, and then I was having problems with my truck at the time.
Yeah, and
And I
we
kept trying to get him to clean his out so we could take his fishing. And he wouldn't clean it out. I couldn't figure out why. Normally he's down to clean it out whenever I ask.
No,
Or he's like, you want to help me? We'll clean it out to go fishing. No problem. Apparently this week it was a problem, and now I understood why. I come home I come home on my birthday. It's one of them days at work where you just.
he was in a shit mood
Oh,
when he came home.
I wanted to strangle somebody, and I'll tell you what, I couldn't have been happier. I come outside and it's like they're standing all around the truck. I'm like,
Because I always pull into his driveway, and he pulled in. Nicole told him to go get gas for the lawnmower or something. He goes, I just mowed the lawn. She goes, but you ran out of gas, and I found a spot you missed. And
Right.
put him in a even shittier mood. He goes,
I'm
fine.
like, I just wanted to come home and grill some food.
I'll go get gas so you can mow the one spot in the yard I missed. And he left, and we pulled that son of a bitch out because we didn't expect him to get home right at that time, you know?
Right.
And we pulled it out and set it on there. And he comes back with the gas. And I'm like, here, I'll take that and fill it up. And I just chucked it in the garage. He goes,
I walked right past it. Walked between the cars. So James pulled up right in between the cars, and I walked from the back of my Dodge around the front of her car and to the door. So I totally missed it. Like they had it sitting out in the yard.
yeah.
And I was getting ready to go walk inside to do something inside real quick. I was like, give me a second. They're like, no, come here. And I walk around the front of the back of the cars, and I'm like, there's the grill I wanted. Just sitting there, ready to go, ready to rock and roll. All I need to do is put together, which we have a TikTok up about the day we put that together and you tried to use it. James bought, Dippy there bought a 2-foot crescent wrench, or a 24-inch crescent wrench. This crescent wrench is this wide.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not.
And
And we need it.
It's
I'm
long.
like, we got a couple nuts that need to be tightened onto the bolts. We grab a wrench, and he comes out carrying that over his shoulder. I'm like,
That's
okay.
gonna work.
Yeah, it worked. We put the grill together with it.
the reason I bought that crescent wrench, though, is...
Was for your fade clutch on the old Rango.
Yeah, no, on the new one.
On the new one?
Yeah,
Oh,
on the new one.
You lead, by the way.
Oh, okay. 1.
10.
You remember when we were working on a truck the week before?
Yeah.
It was in there then. It was in your garage.
I don't know how I missed it.
Dude, you want to know why? You asked me why the seats were folded down.
That makes sense. It was back there underneath all the piles of stuff. You piled stuff in there just to hide it, too. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. I went home and I grabbed... Because I just got done doing laundry. All my laundry, right? And I had...
Well, and here's the weird part that didn't catch my eye. There was hunting clothes in there, gun cases in there. Like, there was just all sorts of stuff piled in the back that shouldn't have been in there in the middle of June.
Especially with just... Like, if I have a gun case in my truck, it's got something in it.
So the part that kind of got me was, like, there was hunting clothes. I was like, all right, hunting clothes. And then there was camping stuff on top of it. I'm like, okay.
I put the camping stuff on that.
It's the middle of summer. camping season's upon us. It kind of makes a little bit of sense. The hunting stuff's a little out of the ordinary. But to tell you to this day, not a single clue any of it was there.
Nicole goes, "Are you gonna take this out of your truck?" I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Aren't you guys going fishing in this tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah, he'll never know." She goes, "Please take it out." And I went home and I took the clean thing of laundry, took the thing back, took the basket back in, went in, a couple gun cases, grabbed my. I had the air mattress.
Yeah.
I had the air mattress
That's what
sitting
it
there.
was. A big air mattress.
Big air mattress. I took it out of and unfolded it, you know. Oh yeah, like kind of half-ass unfolded, not all the way because it's a pain in the butt to put back together, but like kind of unwound it a little
Just
bit.
enough to cover the box.
Yeah.
Not a single clue was in there for 2 weeks. So that was an amazing week. But no, it was great. I mean, I'll tell you what, I've had more cookouts than I have in that thing because it's nice because I normally like to do my asparagus or my corn on the grill.
I like doing my asparagus on that Blackstone.
But having that Blackstone, it makes everything nicer because I can do my meats where my meats normally go, and then I can do the asparagus or the corn or anything else like vegetable. Like I make chicken fried rice on that Blackstone. Amazing. Like there's so many things you can do on it. Like, great.
My brother did stir fry on his.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up this year getting the 22 inch. It's actually the camping one. It's got the X legs like this, and
It folds down.
it folds down into pretty much a suitcase.
I will
Right.
say that is one part that I think having yours versus mine, like, because I've got the 36 inch, my legs are set.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Once they're attached to the grill tops on, that's it. The size it is, that's what you get. His, you can fold down and pull behind you like a cooler on wheels. And
I know, we used it when we
Yeah,
were.
we used it when we went down.
Yep.
They don't. But it amazing, to be completely honest.
Now, after using his and using mine, I was like, I don't need a 36. I don't need it. It's 4 of us, and really what I use mine for is like if I do BLTs.
Sides. Use it for sides,
Sides,
bacon.
BLT, like BLTs. How long does it take you to do BLTs in the house?
I don't know, 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, because you're taking bacon in and out, and
Yeah.
Now
I
think
put it
about,
all on the one.
Now think about this.
Right.
On this griddle, we came home from that fishing trip one time. It was so.
This was
du-
yours. Your Blackstone.
My Blackstone, dumbest fishing trip we've ever been on. Middle of April, there was still ice on the lake. We were dodging ice chunks in the boat to get to our fishing spot. And we come home and we're like, we're hungry. James, is your girlfriend still in town? Tell her to stop and grab some bacon. She stops at Meat Monkey here in
Which-
town.
If you're around the area, go check them out. I'm not trying to. They're not a sponsor at all, but honestly,
Support it. I will 100% support it.
They
They're,
got
they're
good
a
meats.
small business,
They're
fair prices, and I'll tell you what, for what you're going to get, the flavor, the consistency, it's perfect. It's beautiful, all hand cut there.
and Lyle and his wife are just super nice people.
Yes, very nice people. Cash is king with them, too. They are an amazing establishment.
But
And if you don't like what they have on the shelf,
they'll cut
9
you
times
something.
out of 10, they have it in the back. And if it's too thick and you like your steaks half-inch thick instead of an inch thick, they'll cut you fresh steaks. They're going to add a little bit of a cut fee onto it, but it's like 50 cents a steak.
It depends on how many you get though, because if you do 4 or 5, they don't do the cut fee because you're buying 4 or 5 steaks.
Right. When you buy in
If you
bulk,
go in and buy 1 or 2,
they'll give you a
they
cut
might-
fee because you're
like a buck or 2.
because you're cutting outside of what they normally cut. But other than that, they are a fantastic meat shop.
Or you bring it home because you got your own slicer and you just slice it.
Well, yeah, if you have your own slicer, do it yourself.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that commodity or the ability to do it, they do a fantastic job. I will say
yeah.
this hands down. Like, I prefer to buy my meats from them over anybody else.
But they do their sales, and they had a sale go on that week, and they had a 25-pound box of bacon. You know.
Yep.
For like
$100.
$100, which ain't bad actually.
Right.
You know, you go to the store and it's $5-6 a pound now, and you got it for $4 a pound.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that, $10 at $6 a pound, that's $60 right there, not including tax.
Yeah,
So I mean, you basically got 7 pounds for free,
yeah.
and it's good bacon. It's it's thick.
Because you got one, they did a deal with the
Well,
10-pound box.
So they do the 10-pound box, which is the cut ends of
Yeah.
the bacon, which is normally a lot fattier. It's not.
It
It's not.
depends on
It's
the
not.
box.
It's and it does depend a lot.
Because
on
I've gotten one too, and you know the box I got, that 25-pound.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was just like that.
where it was just fat.
No, it was
Great cut.
great cut bacon.
Well, see, in the
But other boxes,
25-pound boxes are normally their select cuts. The 10-pound boxes they do are the cut ends, and they'll tell you straight up like they're the cut ends. They come a little fattier. They're like the ends that they won't sell at full price, but they'll sell for $1.50, $2 a pound.
yeah,
It tastes just the same. The fat, like you go to the grocery store and you get the fat, and it comes out gooey and chewy and mushy. This stuff crisps up just like the bacon. When the meat part of it's done, the fat comes out brown, crispy, crunchy. I couldn't ask for better bacon.
but anyway, back to that fishing story. We come home, my girlfriend brings a bunch of bacon, 25-pound box of bacon. So we fire up his Blackstone.
We packaged only 15 pounds of bacon for him to take home. We cooked 10 pounds of bacon on my Blackstone
In
20
about
minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah. And we had BLTs rocking. We had to go get more bread because
Yeah.
we ran out of bread. Like we had 7 people fed in 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, it was. If you're not looking to take your Blackstone somewhere and
20.
you want something where you can, you know,
If you got something that if you regularly do cookouts, the 36 inch is great. Which I love my 36 because I like to do in the summertime a lot of cookouts. I usually try to do 2 to 3 a month. With invite everybody over, have everybody come over. We just kind of get together, play cornhole, do a cookout, BS a little bit, shoot the shit. How's everybody doing? People I haven't seen in forever. And even this weekend, I called people, and I invited a couple new people, and they knew people that come to my cookouts regularly. And they called and said, "Hey, Ginger invited me to the cookout. Are you going?" And they go, "Yeah, James and Joey are cooking. I'm not missing that cookout."
hmm
So I mean, it's like when I say there's a cookout coming, most of the time people ain't missing it.
Right.
'Cause, I mean, there's barbecued ribs, there's smoked chicken, there's barbecue chicken, there's brats, burgers. I mean, like we go all out.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I think between me and you last year, we probably spent almost what, $3,000 on meats last year.
Oh, yeah,
just
probably.
in cookouts.
Probably.
And we don't ask a dime. It's just, what can I bring? Bring a side.
Yeah.
Bring a potato salad. Bring a pasta
Bring
salad.
some chips,
Bring chips. Bring BYOB.
Yeah.
Bring BYOB. BYOC. Bring your own beer. Bring your own chair. Just come
You know,
hang out.
and there's some people that, you know, are definitely coming, and some people always bring buns, you know.
They always bring something. They bring
Yeah.
an additive to what we got. They bring something to throw on the grill. And usually, but those are the people who usually be like, "Hey, what do you have for meat so far? I plan on bringing this." And then it's like, "Okay, I don't have to cook this. Someone's bringing this. I can add this in. Like, I can substitute that. Now I can do something smaller like this." You know, it's nice.
And what I really love about the group of people that come out, like, if they go to the store, they'll ask you if you need anything, and they don't ask you for money, but you always offer it, you know.
Right.
And even that, it's like, and the nice part is this weekend we had 4 different groups of friends.
Oh yeah.
And everybody gets along, so it's nice because it's come to the house, everybody can hang out, everybody has a good time. Bring the kids, bring the wives, bring everybody.
Oh yeah.
Which, like I said, my wife was on baby overload
Oh yeah.
this week. Like, she had 2 babies, and she goes, the mom's come in with the baby, she looks at them and she goes, "You ain't gotta feed them, you ain't gotta change diapers, I'll do it all for you." So it's a nice little getaway for everybody.
What I like about my Blackstone versus yours, though, mine's easy to take places.
It's easier travel.
Yeah.
Which I think if we do another Drummond Island trip,
That's going with us.
it's going with us. Yeah, 100%.
Because
Drummond Island. If any of you guys watching this, Drummond Island, if you've never been there,
What'd you hit there?
at 20.
Okay, 21. Oh wait, I think I hit 22. Sorry, I hit
You
22.
hit 22?
Yeah.
31.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't see it. Throw. So then you got 1. So, I mean, Drummond Island, great place. I love it. We go up there grouse camp every year.
Half of the island is accessible for everyone and everybody, and the other half, once you hit a dirt road, pay attention.
Because you either A, you're gonna get swamped out, and you're gonna sink whatever vehicle you have unless you have a built trail rig, or you have a side by side that can hit the Dodge trails.
No, because they just half the island is, hey, you can go here. There's little parts. It's really, in my opinion, one city.
It's
Or
one
one town.
small little town.
No, there's actually 3 different parts of it.
Is there?
Yeah, there's actually 3 different parts.
See, and
but
we only spend most of our time in the main part off the boat dock, where like the grocery store and the main bar is. Like we went to the Pins, which
that's a different part of town.
and I wasn't very impressed with Pins, to be completely honest. It's a great bar.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
get me wrong. They're just, I don't know. I feel like they cater to the higher class.
That's another.
tourist.
That's a different town.
It's-
Is where the pin's at.
And see, and I feel that's more of a tourist stop spot
Yeah.
than like the local. Which when we got it, we walked into the local pub there to grab lunch between our hunting trips. We walked in full camo. Half the people in there were in full camo or riding gear. So I mean, it's like
Well,
that's
the
where your
Pins-
locals hang out.
But the Pins is also a golf resort.
Okay, and see, I guess that makes
That's
sense.
also a
with it.
golf resort.
See, we also passed the Pins at 10 o'clock at night, so
Yeah.
there was no seeing that there was a golf course.
Yeah,
attached
that's
to it.
also a golf resort. It's a golf resort in the bowling alley. They're kind of like a little resort up there.
Okay.
So
And I'll tell you what, like that camping out there, I've never slept better in my life just camping in the woods. Although
I'm
aside from the kids,
I'm telling you right now, I slept the best on them kids' mattresses.
so we got up there, we were setting up camp, and I told James, I was like, I got brand new air mattresses. They're perfect. They're twin air mattresses. They'll fit perfectly in this tent. They're great. I grabbed the 2 bags. I threw them in the truck. We got up there. James
I
is
set
in
the
a
tent up.
I'm in the back
He throws.
I'm
He
in the-
throws me the freaking air mattresses.
I throw air mattresses. I'm in the back of James's Durango digging out more stuff. All of a sudden, I hear James in the background. What is this? What is going on? Are you freaking kidding me?
I jump out of the tent. He jumps out.
He
What the
pops
fuck
out.
are
He
these?
pops out of the tent, unrolls the air mattress. He holds it up, and I can see his face, and it's not even touching the ground. It's got the blow-up bumpers on the side, so you don't roll off. Dude, I laid on that. My head was like, the top of the mattress was here, and my knees, like the back of my knees, and I'm only 5'7". The back of my knees is where that air mattress ended.
I'm telling you right now, though, those bunkers made grade A pillows.
I've never slept better in my life. I took my muck boots off, stacked them next to each other, and put my feet on those. Slept like a baby.
I slept like a baby, but
we
that's
went-
for a different reason.
We went to bed at 12:30 that night. Woke up at 6 a.m. and I was up out of that bed. And I'm like, I'm ready to go. What's going on?
Before we set the tent up and got the air mattress set up, we pulled up, and the guys were there. They came up the night before, and like,
Oh no, they were up there. We went up Saturday. They were up there.
we went up Friday.
Oh, okay. I thought we went up Saturday. No, because we came back Saturday. Cause you
Yeah, I had to work Sunday.
Yep. Okay.
We went up Friday because that's when I was working Friday
And
morning.
you were getting out early.
I was getting
Fridays.
done at 1, so we
Yep.
packed up, headed up there. Which, I don't know how we made the 9 o'clock ferry.
Oh my God! So we left the house, and we were cruising up. Now it's like, what, hour and 45, 2-hour trip
Yeah,
to the boat.
Hour and a half, hour and 45.
yeah,
And
to
we
the
were
boat.
we were cruising up there, and we're watching the clock. Like we left the house late, and it was like, and I'm watching the clock. All of a sudden, we're coming up over this hill.
And he goes, we're not making the ferry.
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
"We're
alright,
not
I'll
making
slow
the-"
down a little bit. Woo!
There's a lollipop. State trooper pulls us over. We got 2 guns loaded in the truck. We're loaded down to the gills with hunting gear. He comes up. We got hands on dash. James goes, I've never been pulled over with my CPL.
Hold on. I'm shaking because one thing, yes, I've never been pulled over with my CPL. The other thing is,
Hold on.
he just downed the rest of his drink
No.
he had in a water bottle.
We're gonna edit that.
Okay.
Can
Yeah, we
like,
can
clip
edit that part out.
Can we clip that?
There ain't no editing here, man. You're shit out of luck.
Yeah, well. So, anyway, the guns were his.
No, you had yours.
So
I'm not gonna let you live it down.
we're sitting out there, and we're cruising back, and it's like he's like, I've never been pulled over by CPL. So we're loaded down with shotguns, ready to go to Drummond Island. So no, like nothing's loaded, nothing's ready to rock.
Right.
But still, we had our guns in the truck, and I had a couple drinks before we left because I'm not driving.
No.
Right.
I had a drink or a drink or two before we left the house while we were packing up. James was like, I'm driving. Well, perfect. I'm gonna have a couple quick drinks. No big deal. And the cop pulls up the window. He goes, "You boys know why I pulled you over?" We're like,
I got a CPL, and I
"No,
got
but I got a CPL." And he goes, "Relax, you're good. You're in the UP. Everybody's got a gun up here. Where are they
Okay.
at?" And he goes, "It's right here." And then one's in the center console. And he goes, "All right, you got your licenses, CPLs, proof of insurance, registration." I hand it all over to him.
I'm like,
He comes back. He goes to his cop car. He comes back and goes, "All right, well, I clocked you at 60, or he goes, I clocked you at 67. Just, slow her down. It's 55. He go, we're like, we're just trying to make the ferry at 9 o'clock. He goes, well, I think you're going to miss it tonight. We go, well, we were close to hitting it until we got pulled over. But now we're not going to hit it. So, and we get going, and I put my license back, and all of a sudden I go, wait a second. Oh, crap. My CPL expired 2 months ago. And the cop never said anything to me. So I come home, and we immediately got home from that trip, and I renewed it. Just because, I blanked on it. Never even thought about it. And
we got lucky.
And we
'cause
got
the
lucky.
ferry was running late.
we pulled into the thing, and there's a line of cars, and all of a sudden you see in the horizon lights coming at the dock. I'm like, James, there's no way, I'm like, David, there's no way we just made the boat. No way. And he goes, no, that's coming in. I'm like, yeah, you're right. That boat's just coming in. We made the 9 o'clock boat. Couldn't get a hold of the guys because they have no signal out there.
It was
At
actually
all.
like the 9:10 boat that day.
Which, whatever, but still, like,
But I also kind of bullied my way into the line.
yeah. We pulled up to the stop sign, so there was people lined up to the stoplight. If you ever go to the Drummond Island Boat Launch, there's a stoplight, and people come down as a stoplight. We come down on the side road. So
That's
we
the
got
way-
in, and 6 cars behind us was the last car they let in. And if we would have pulled up to the stoplight, we'd have been the 12th car back. So we squeezed our way in, got on the boat, man. We're trying to call these guys, can't get a hold of them, nobody's got service, no nothing. So we're
All of a sudden,
all right.
they sent us a pin.
They sent us a pin, and we're like, all right, we'll be there. We're at the pins eating. We grabbed burgers because we didn't know if they were cooking yet. And all of a sudden they sent us a pin. They're like, yeah, we got food on the grill. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So we hurry up, scarf down our food. They're like, how was it? We're like, delicious. We got to go buy it. And we're out the door, and boom, right to the track. I mean, dude, that was amazing.
It was fun.
That was a fun trip.
We got up there.
Also, for you not listening, sorry to cut you off, but this is how Dippy got his nickname of Dippy Dog.
It is.
We always have called him Dippy since I've ever met him. And
It was right after we met.
And that comes from his father-in-law. His father-in-law has always called him Dippy.
Yes. We worked together, and there was one day where I just couldn't get anything right.
Couldn't get his brain together.
And he was like, God, you're a dipshit, giving me a whole bunch of crap about it. He goes, I'm just going to call you Dippy from now on. And it just kind of caught on at the store. And he heard him call me a couple times, and then he started in with the Dippy.
And then it kind of just became a thing, and then that became the thing with the Nasty North Outdoors. And he's just always been Dippy. And then we ended up going on this hunting trip. And he flushed more birds than the dogs did.
The entire week they were up there, and I did it in one day.
And they were up there for 4 days, and he flushed more birds in one day. We started calling him Dippy Dog. I changed its ringtone to a bark in my phone. I know when he's
That
calling.
was another drunken night.
It just all stuck. It was perfect. Well, you were walking around with that 410 bolt action.
Yeah, it
that,
was.
That little gun's sweet.
You were
Have you
walking.
ever seen it? It's a
I was walking
Stevens?
around. No, it's Mossberg.
Mossberg.
Mossberg 410 bolt action, and it's got the twist off chokes on the outside.
Right.
So it's got the extended tube where you can change them.
Yep.
Hold on, is that the one where you can change it by twisting it?
Nope.
Okay.
That's a poly choke.
See,
That's
my-
on the 12 gauge and the 16 gauge.
So you know that Browning BPS and Vector Plus I have?
Yeah.
My uncle has the same exact gun.
Uh huh.
He has that poly choke on his gun where he can just go, oh, I'm not hitting birds good. They're flying too far out. Click, click.
Yeah.
Full choke. Like, all he's got to do is twist it, and it's a tighter pattern. I'll tell you what, that gun, I love that gun. I need to get it to Curtis because I need to get that thing running right because I've come to find you can rack. Every once in a while, it's the first rack. What are you doing?
I just picked my points up.
Oh.
I had 4.
It goes the first rack. Like, I'll normally shoot the first one, shoot the second one, and then it's like the third one. It'll either lock on the first one or lock on the third one, or the first or the third. And I literally have to grab it by the forearm, hold it away from me, smash the butt end of the ground, and the forearm will go down and it'll eject the shell. And then if you pick the shell up, it's like the ejector button clips it and hooks it, and literally will rip a piece of the shell open. Like if you were to take, like say your can and grab this lid with like a little hook punch and go, like it does that to my shell. So something's wrong inside my injector.
No, it's not your ejector. It's the shell you're shooting.
No, because it does it with every single shell I shot. I've shot Black Clouds, I've shot Hypersonics, I've shot Remington, I've shot Winchester Super X's, I've shot Kent Fast Steels, I've shot the heavy shots, the heavy steels.
How old's the gun?
The gun is, so the story behind
Well,
the
it's
gun.
got a poly choke on it.
No,
so.
it's not a poly choke. Mine doesn't have the poly choke. Mine's got the thread ends.
Okay,
Oh,
how
okay.
old is the gun?
My
Oh, are
dad,
you talking about your Browning bottom eject?
yeah, my body
Okay.
eject. So my dad found this gun. My dad worked for the county for years, and he found this gun at a rest stop on one of his
I
regular
thought you were
checks
still talking about your
when
uncle.
I was probably 11 years old. So now we're talking 12 years ago. Or no, we're talking 20 years ago. He found this gun on the side of the road, leaned up against a lamppost. He threw it in the back of his truck, took it to the cop shop, had them run it, dropped it off. They left it there for, 60 days? What's the rule? 30 days, 60 days? And they called him back and said, hey, nobody claimed the gun, nobody marked it as stolen, come pick it up.
Oh,
Picked
that's
it-
cool.
Picked it up, it had a broken stock on it.
Okay.
So-
I didn't know that was actually a rule.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, so anything that's not a pistol, so a pistol, they'll run through the registry and track it down
Okay.
because pistols are registered. The shotgun was not registered because shotguns don't get registered, main rifles don't get registered.
Right.
The only thing that really gets registered is a pistol or an AR. And now, unless you buy it from like a main dealer, which most of the time they'll do that, but even then, shotguns are normally never registered.
Okay, here's in an opinion, here's what's going on, okay? When you're shooting your gun,
Mhm.
the brass is expanding too far and it's sticking within the chamber. So,
But that's the thing, is like I can get it, like when I shoot it, it pops partially open.
Yep.
So why is it that it's not the case of the brass, it's that extra rim. You know that rim that's at the bottom of the shell, like when you hold the
It's-
shell, it's that gold little, like that little rounded lip. That's the part that gets stuck. It's not the actual casing.
it's the case, it's the brass at the top that's getting the chamber has been shot out is basically what it is.
So the chain, or no, are you talking the barrel or inside the housing of where the ejector and the slide come in?
I'm gonna say the barrel.
The barrel itself, where
barrel itself,
the
okay.
chamber of the barrel that holds the brass is shot out.
Okay.
It's had too many shells through it, ejected.
Which I can't even see that because I've only put probably 3 boxes.
How many boxes
How,
were
yeah, how
put
many
in it?
boxes they put
And that's
through
what
it
I don't know.
Before that.
And that's the thing, is like, because if you look down the barrel, like this gun is clean. This gun is pristine. Like-
it can be clean and it still can still be shot out.
Okay, and see, and that's like I said, I don't know, and that's why I thought it was the ejector, because I talked to Curtis about it, and he said, yeah, it's probably your ejector clip is coming over too far, because it's like where the casing goes in, like because it grabs that little lip, that extra big ring around the back of the shell, and it hooks into that, and right at the base is where it peels it open like a beer can. So
Because it's
that
trying to
round-
pull it out. As it's trying to pull it out, the casing is getting stuck in the
inside
chamber.
the barrel. Okay, well, see, and that makes sense.
Your case is getting stuck. The brass itself, because you're using long brass
Is getting stuck inside the barrel.
in the chamber.
Okay, so
not
that-
the barrel, the chamber.
It's the same thing.
It is
it's
the
kind of
same thing,
because
but
it
it's
The
stuffs it-
chamber's
it-
in the barrel.
It stuffs it
Yes.
up inside that barrel. So
Right.
and that's why I said, like, it just makes it weird because it seems to lock up on me
Because really,
a lot.
where your shell goes into,
Is
It-
tapered
that's the
up.
barrel.
It tapers up, and then if you look inside the barrel, there's that little extra rim that's a little bit bigger to where that brassing
Yep.
stops.
yeah,
So it's got to be in there then.
yes.
Okay. Because yeah, like I pulled every time I did it, I pick up the shell, and there's just like where the ejector clip is. It's peeled down almost like you took a little tab and went and
But
ripped that little lip. on the
What
back
we
of the
need
shell.
to really see is there any styrations? Is there any expansion of
So what could be happening is my barrel expanded. and
no,
when-
not your barrel is your barrel's overexpanded at the chamber.
But what I mean is like when it fires off, instead of
The
going
casing.
this way, the casing goes out
Yes,
instead of
yes.
going out the barrel, it expands out
Right.
inside the chamber.
And
dude, I got
that's
bit like a mofo right here.
what you need to figure out.
So that could very well be it. And see that's the biggest thing. I just need to take it to somebody who knows better than I do.
Because you got to think,
Because I've lubed it, I've cleaned it. Like this gun has never even seen a field. It's seen my boat. Now, and even I used to hunt on the rainiest of days. And that's the weird part is this just started happening, and probably I'd say, so I got that Benelli Nova from you 3 years ago. I'd say probably the 2 years before I got that gun is when it started happening. That's why I picked up that gun from you, that Benelli. And I couldn't figure out. It's a great backup gun. I know how to eject it if something happens to it. Like I know how to unjam it. But it's not consistent enough for me to duck hunt with, which I love it. It is a straight goose gun. That gun is so long. Have you ever shouldered that gun?
I have not.
When I shoulder
It
that
fits
gun,
Buck really well though.
it fits Buck great. I shoulder that gun, and I mean, I'm here with it. Like, it's a long gun. It's got a 30-inch barrel. It's got that extra long stock. Like, it's a long gun.
Well, it's longer than my 935. That's a 28-inch barrel.
Yeah, so even set up to his. You've got the choke that comes out the barrel.
An extra inch. You're an extra inch above mine.
He's got the choke that comes out his barrel, that extra inch, the extended tube. We put them down side by side. My gun is like this tall to his, and I have a flat choke. Like that's the top of my barrel, and it's still longer than his.
You currently have
Our receivers are almost the same size.
Right.
Like
your stock's a little longer, and your receivers
my
a
stock's
little
only
longer.
like a quarter inch to half an inch longer than yours,
and your
but it's
receiver's
all-
about a quarter inch longer.
and but 90% of it's all on my barrel.
No, it's your receiver because you have the bottom eject. It's your receiver and your stock that are longer. 'Cause
My
you have
barrel's also long, but I got a 30-inch barrel. You got a 20-inch.
I got a 28, but I also got the inch-long choke. So
But-
the 1 inch comes
So
from
the 1 inch comes in the top, and then you got like the other inch and a half that's at the receiver and the stock.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, that's a long gun. It really is. And I'll tell you what, I've never shot more birds than I've shot more birds with that gun in the 2 years I used it waterfowl hunting than all the time I think I've used that Benelli Nova. Although I love that Nova. I'll tell you what, that Nova is that's my favorite gun. It shoots great. It shoots
You
well.
need to
I
get a
just-
new fucking what you call it. You blew out your clip. I know it's not a clip. Your barrel housing, didn't you?
For what, the Nova?
Yeah.
No.
I thought you did. You couldn't take it apart anymore.
Oh no, so that's the yeah. So that's another thing, Don. I don't know if I told you. I tried to put my. We went out west. We went out to North Dakota on a snow goose hunt. We put extended tubes on all our guns. Well, we came back and I tried to put the regular parts back in it, and trying to put the thing back down, I put a screwdriver in to like, kind of not pry it, but like just twist it.
Look at his face.
Yeah, I know.
He's all disappointed in you.
Not like a screwdriver, but like I grabbed like the pliers and pinched it. Like I pinched the thing and then pushed down. And when I pushed down, the top of the bottom cylinder where the shells go, it split on one side. I was like, crimped it back together and I put the top back on. I screwed it on and went, that's good. Yeah, I went to go duck season to take it out to make sure my my plug was in. I went, well, these pliers will do it. Yep, that's not coming off again. So I gotta get a new bottom tube for that, the feed tube.
That's what I was trying to say. Not clip, but
The feed tube. The mag tube.
The mag tube.
Yeah, my mag tube's shot. Like that bad boy's on there, and when it comes off, it's not going back on again.
Elliot went out there with 5 rounds. You went out with 7.
Nope, you went Elliot. Oh yeah, because Elliot
couldn't get his to work.
We couldn't get his. Well, because his kept catching on that, so he would load up, and then it would catch on his where the tube and the extension tube would connect. His orange stopper would stop and it wouldn't feed anymore after like he get 3 rounds in, and then
it was because he had 7, you had 8.
Nope,
you had 7, he had 8,
and then he had 10.
I was able to get 10 if I didn't do 3.5. My 3 inches I could get 10.
At 3.5 you got 8, 9.
I got 9.
You got 9.
And 2
well,
3,
with one in the chamber.
I got 10 with 1 in the chamber, or 9 with 1 in the chamber with 3.5,
and then
10 with 1 in the chamber with 3s, and 11
with 1 in the chamber
with 2 and 3/4.
Which that was also funny. We got out there, and one guy looks at me. He goes, so should I shoot 3.5? He goes, our guide goes, why wouldn't you? He goes, yeah, but no, seriously, should I shoot 3.5? He goes,
and I look at the guy and go, you heard the guide, why wouldn't you?
He goes,
really? I'm like,
the guy turns to me and goes, seriously, why wouldn't you? You got him, shoot him.
The guy looks at me and goes, is he screwing with me? I'm like, I'm shooting 3.5s.
I'm shooting 3.5s. He goes, what are you guys shooting? I went, I'm shooting Remington Hypersonics, and I handed him one. He goes, what are these? I said, a shotgun shell that moves 1,700 feet a second. He goes,
I want to shoot one, but not out of my gun.
He goes, well, that's not bad. So we're sitting there the first morning. We didn't shoot a single bird the first morning.
No, we shot 2. We shot 2.
And he goes, and the guy goes, well, I shot at those birds, but I didn't really feel my gun go off. We're like, well, we're packing up. Shoot it. Shoot your gun. He pulls up and he goes, boom! He goes, oh, that don't feel bad. James goes, here. Throws a 3.5-inch hypersonic. He goes, shoot that out of your gun. And he goes, boom! He goes, oh my lord, you guys are shooting those? And I said, I literally handed him my Benelli and said, here, that's got a 3.5-inch hypersonic in it. Shoot that. I shot 7 of those at the last flock of birds. And he goes, is your gun gonna kick? I said, just hold on to it. He goes, I really don't want to shoot it now. And he grabs it and he squares off and he, boom! Nope, you can have that back. And I went, yeah. And he goes, and you shot 7 at that? I went, I shoot those during regular duck season.
The funny thing is,
he goes, nope. He goes, this is my first time ever duck hunting. I went, oh lord, okay. Well, I just did something stupid.
So I sent him my gun afterwards, and I threw 1 in there.
No, you sent him your gun first because we gave him my gun last.
He shot 1 out of his gun and went, ooh, those kind of tickle.
No, he shot 1 out of his gun and then went to your gun and said,
oh, that was better.
That was better. And then I handed him my gun and said, here's what I'm shooting all day. And he looked at me, he goes, how do you have a shoulder left?
The sad thing is, so my 935, it's Mossberg 935.
Here's mine. 15.2, 15.4, pair for 6.
I counted them already. While you were talking.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
And my Mossberg 935, it cost me about $800. You know. Do you remember what he was shooting?
Yes, he was shooting a Beretta.
Okay. He was shooting a Beretta. And he goes, how much was that gun? It's got to be more expensive than mine. I go, how much did you shoot? How much did you spend on yours?
He paid like $1,200 for this gun.
Yeah. He goes, what? Yours like 18, $2,000? I'm like,
$800.
$800. And he goes,
What's the difference about it? He goes, and now here's the big difference, because you can get the so they have two different models.
They got
four different models.
they got the
They have
830
the M830, which is a pump action,
with
which
3.5.
only carries threes.
Yep.
The 800s carry 3-inch.
It's
then there-
830.
Then there's the 835, which is a semi-auto that can carry 3-inch.
Nope. This is how this goes.
Is it?
This is how it goes. The 935. It's a semi-auto. You can do 2 3/4, 3, 3.5.
But it also says no light loads.
No light load.
Like you can't
What-
shoot low brass, you can't shoot 2 3/4.
You can shoot 2
skeet lo-
3/4.
Skeet loads, you can't really, but you can't shoot skeet loads. They don't like to eject.
When you break it in,
Once
you break it in,
once you break it in,
it's golden.
it works
But
good.
at first, don't shoot skeet loads. Break it in with your. I
And
got the
will say this,
waterfowl edition.
Break it in with hypersonics because it loosens everything
Yeah.
up nice and good.
Now the 930, the Mossberg 930.
Is a pump action.
Nope, that's the semi-auto. That's the one Van Avery has.
No, he's got the 835,
He's got the 835.
which is a semi-auto.
Nope.
No, so
His
he's
is
got
pump.
the 830 then.
Yes. So the 930 is semi-auto.
I'm pretty sure the
Nope.
930 was. I thought the 930
I looked
was
at all four of them when I was doing.
Well,
buying mine.
okay, because I
The
thought
930 is semi-auto, but it only does 2 3/4 and 3-inch. The 835, it goes down because my barrel's thicker than Van Avery's. You're right. Thicker. It's got like
well, yours
more,
has that polycarbonate
Van
wrap
Avery-
on it. Or
So does
something
Van
like
Avery. Says it was the same color.
That. Oh, okay.
Mine's more like a bull barrel than a standard muzzler or not muzzler, shotgun barrel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost got like that cryo barrel.
Yeah. Now the 835 is the 935 just pump action,
Okay, see,
and the 830 is the 930 just pump action.
see now, and I was told differently. I was told the 830 was the 830 and the 835 only carried 3-inch.
Nope.
But it was the 830 was the pump, the 835 was the semi-auto, and then the 930 was a 3.5 pump, and the 935 was the semi-auto.
No,
3.5.
the 30 is exactly 3-inch,
Yep.
and the 35 3.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
well that's like I said.
Yeah.
I didn't do as much digging as you may have,
Yeah.
and that's I was going off what Buck told me, and Buck thought that it was the 930 was the pump.
Nope. The 8s are the pumps, and the 9s are the semi-autos.
Okay, so that makes more sense. Then.
Now the 30 is the 3-inch,
3-inch,
and the 35 is the 3.5.
And what you said that makes sense. The 3.5, the 35 is the 3.5
3.0.
for the.
Yep.
Which did you realize? So apparently, if you go onto like the websites and look at shotgun shells, you can apparently buy a 3 3/4 inch shell.
Really?
Apparently, they had them. I went looking at Black Cloud one day and they went 3.75. I'm like, where's the gun that shoots a 3 3/4 inch shell? Why don't I have one?
410's coming 2.5s.
Well, yeah, 410's coming to an end, but that's always been a thing.
Well,
That was kind of the normal back in
Yeah.
the day for 410s. They didn't really come out with the 3-inch.
They had 3s.
Did they have 3s
Yeah.
before?
They
Was it
yeah.
3s before and then the 2.5?
it was 2.5 first.
2.5 and then 3.
And
But
then they came out with the 3, so that way
Yeah.
you get a little more powder.
They also have 2 3/4.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
yep.
And see, that's what I love. I love your judge. I
My
just wish
judge-
I just wish your judge shot the 3-inch.
Yes, me too. To a certain
Although-
extent.
although
But
I-
I also got the short barrel. I'm not going to complain because I got a pretty decent deal on that.
I will say this though, the funniest time I think we went squirrel hunting one day, we took 22s and James goes, "I'm taking my judge," and he walks around with his judge with bird load in it for squirrel hunt. No big deal. We didn't see a single squirrel. We're driving around the block like we're coming back home, and all of a sudden we're like, "There's a bunch of squirrels!" And we park the truck, pile out, we go running off into the woods chasing these squirrels, and Dippy goes, "There they are!" Boom! I missed that one. Boom! What the? Boom! Boom! Boom!
No, it was 3 slugs.
He pulls them out and goes, "Well, I had 2 bird shot and 3 slugs in there. Whoops."
He shot one of the ones I shot at, right? I hit one with the slug.
Picked it up and had a back leg missing a foot. Oh man, that was just it was just funny because he was sitting there like he just like the squirrels were up in the tree and he like leaned back and like so he had like this log that was going across him with a bush tree behind him, and I watch his hands because I'm like I can't see the squirrels and I'm watching him and he just boom and I'm looking all of a sudden nothing and then I look over he goes boom and his hands go over his head and I'm like. That wasn't birdshot.
That's when I had the Palm Buster on there too.
Yeah, no, that was a scary day.
I got the Judge Poly Defender, and it's like a 2-inch barrel.
Right.
It's not for shooting up into a tree, really.
No.
It's when you're close, and it's more of a self-defense.
Close, personal, and hello.
Yeah. Hello, here I am, type of gun. It comes with a hand grip that long, where you fit 2 fingers on it, and your trigger. And your pinky sitting down here. When you shoot a slug out of there, it's a Palm Buster.
15-2.
They come with, you can go online, I got it off Amazon. You can go on there and you can find grips for it. And I got the one that you can put the pinky on it.
7.
And now with slugs with that, you don't even feel it. That grip made a whole difference.
Yeah, no, dude, that gun was a gnarly gun. I'll tell you what.
It was a gnarly gun until I put that grip made such the difference. So
It did. It really did. I'll tell you what. I'm not one to back down from shooting a gun. That one, after watching him fire off one of them slugs, that gun kind of scared me a little bit. Like, and not to say that like I'm afraid of a gun, but like. My wrists are not the greatest from playing hockey. Like I've broken each hand, wrist, 12 to 15 times. Like hockey's a rough sport. And I fired that gun and because there's been times like, ask Dippy. We were cruising through the backwoods one day, and he goes, and I got my Dodge. I'm like, let's hit a mud hole, and I go, oh, there's one, and I got lined up to it, and I hit the mud hole, and we come out of the mud hole, and I cranked the wheel this way. And I had my hand this way. I caught a rut and my wheel snapped this way, and it caught my thumb here and went and dislocated my wrist. And we almost hit a tree because I let go of the steering wheel because I couldn't hold on to it with this hand. And I grabbed the steering wheel, get it back, and I looked at James, and James goes, "You all right?" I'm like, "Nope." Grab my thumb and pull. He goes, "What?" I grab my thumb and pull. He goes, I'm like, he goes, "What was that?" I'm like, "My wrist popping back in, thank you." Grab my steering wheel and driving back down the road. He's like, "Don't ever ask me to do that again." And then, so like, I was kind of a little worried that like, just the recoil of doing that would pop stuff out of play. It don't take much, and my wrists are gone. Oh,
the birdshot out of that's not bad. But when you get to,
can I have this one? Can I drop that one back down, please?
No.
Could have really used that 7.
Mm-hmm.
It all shoots 45 long Colt.
Right.
I think the slugs are worse out of
For
it.
any of you cribbage players, I could have really used that. I know you can't see it, so I'm not.
Barely. No, I could see you had cards. You got a diamond in there.
I do. I have 1 diamond. My lead?
Yeah, your lead.
8.
9.
That's
or
17.
17.
25.
Go.
31. Do you see why I could have used that
Oh, yeah.
7? Hold on. 16. Do you see why I could have used that 7?
Oh yeah.
Go. I'm out of cards.
But I took, back to the drumming thing, I took my bolt action 410.
410, and then you took the Stevens 12 gauge.
No, that's the 20.
Is the Stevens a 20?
The Stevens is a 20.
What's the 12?
The 12 is, it's technically a Mossberg.
Oh, because we took 3 of his guns. Because
You took Emily's 20 gauge, which is a pink camo, Muddy Girl camo.
I remember
Youth
that
model.
one. I remember that one.
Yeah, youth
I
model.
shot my first grouse actually like hunting for them, like actually grouse hunting. Shot my first grouse with that gun ever. Like now I've shot partridge, I've shot one with my pistol. I've shot one with my
6-8.
bow. I've shot one with my 22. Walking to my tree stand, sitting in my tree stand, deer hunting, like sitting at the range, sighting in before deer season. Like I've shot them with everything except a shotgun until then.
1, 2, 3, 4, and a pair for 6.
I mean, like, dude, I could. Oh my lord, it was the dumbest thing ever. And I have pictures of that, of me sitting there. And the worst part is I was walking through the woods because we seen grouse kick across the road. So we stopped the trucks, we backed up. My boots were in the back of the truck. I had my Crocs on. I had the pink Muddy Girl Camo 20 gauge, and we just walked into the woods till we found birds. And I mean, we walked in, 60, 100 yards in the woods, and they were sitting in a tree. Start shooting.
The worst thing about that day is
bugs.
no, not even the bugs. I kicked up so many birds,
I don't know, the one where
obviously you miss a bunch of them, you know.
the one where Bentley shot a rabbit and blew it in half, and nobody wanted to take it home.
Oh yeah.
Well, dude, he split it, and we walked up to it to grab it, and it was like, oh.
I had a grouse pickup, and it, instead of out of a tree and through a bunch of trees, it picked up and went straight ahead of me.
It picked up about Fern High and went straight. So Fern High, we're talking 2.5 foot off the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and was away from him.
And boom! I seen feathers just explode, right?
Perfect.
Perfect,
James
got
goes-
that
he
thing.
goes, I think I got one. We walk over there. There's feathers everywhere.
Everywhere.
There's like a straight stream of feathers. No bird in sight. And we had our other buddy who
We
shot
had
one.
3 dogs there trying to. They came over, sniffed the feathers, and that's all that there was. It must have ducked down right below the ferns. It kept on.
And he hit him and it dropped into the low grass and took off running, and we just never could find it. And we had another buddy who shot through a tree that was probably 3 inches around. Shot through the tree and still got his bird.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was probably the craziest hunting trip. I'll tell you what, I go back
Upland
again.
bird hunting is fun, but it's probably my least favorite thing ever.
Like,
Because of the stupid shots that can happen.
It's fun when you go with your buddy. Well, and that's another thing.
Because
We're
he
walking-
shot through 3 inches of tree and got his bird, and I had a perfect shot, blew feathers everywhere, and never got one.
Well, and that's like we went up there, and I was walking, and all of a sudden, Tuck, one of the dogs, went on point. And the other guy, James, was with us. There's birds. He can smell them. And I'm walking, and all of a sudden I come under these group of trees, and I just kind of duck down a little bit, and the grouse, right above my head, takes off. Not knowing what it is. Oh, and boom! Bird drops 20 feet in front of me. I'm like, found him. He got his first red face. No, I'll tell you what, that was a trip. And surprisingly, for being like the heaviest population of bears in
Never seen a single
northern
one.
Michigan, or in Michigan, never seen a single one on Drummond. Which kind of surprised me. I was so worried about bears up there. Never seen a single one.
Yeah.
So,
I've
funny
seen
story
more. I've
about
seen
bears.
more bears down here than I have on Drummond Island.
Thing with Drummond Island, talking about cell service up there. You get to the other side of the island.
And not a single thing.
Yeah, there is.
Well, yeah, you're roaming Canada at that point, aren't you?
Yeah, you're roaming
Yeah.
Canada.
Well, we had the same thing. We went down to St. Clair Flats. Nicole calls me. I pick up the phone and go, hello? You're in now Canada. Here's what your charges are. Da-da-da per minute. Yeah, what do you need? Hey, what time you guys plan on coming home? I don't know. We're setting up. I'll call you later. I'm in Canada roaming services. I got to go. Bye. Like, I'm not paying $4 a
The
minute.
funny thing is, though, me and him were sitting right next to each other,
I was roaming Canada. He had perfect bars.
and I was closer to
American.
Canada than he was.
Like, I was at the truck. He was in the middle of the fields, and had perfect American service. I got
I'm
out there.
talking to my girlfriend on the phone. They're like, you gonna start walking back? I'm like, no, it's dark out. I'm gonna stay right here, you know?
Right.
I got a three things of decoys, you know, because he took the first boat was let's get most
They
people
got
back.
me back so that way I could load, because I had my truck, and my truck pulled the boat, so we all rode in my truck.
Yeah.
So I went back to unlock the truck, get it to the launch with all the decoys. or
No,
as many
the decoys. You
Well,
brought
we
one
went,
set.
I was gonna say we went back with half. I
No, because
we
I
went
had
back with-
90%.
well,
you
we
brought
went-
one stack.
was gonna say we went back with theirs, and you had all ours.
Yeah.
And then he came back with ours.
James brought you and Casey, and a
Oh,
thing
did
of
Casey
decoys.
come back with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah.
he came back and grabbed me and the other three things of decoys we had, like the swimmers and the mojos, and
Well, we didn't. You can't use mojos out there. So
Right.
we didn't have the mojos.
we didn't have the mojos. But you can use swimmers out there, which is weird that you can't use mojos, but you can.
Yeah,
use the
you can't
swimmers.
use
What?
Yeah. Oh, so St. Clair Flats is like a
It's a preserve.
It's a
it's
refuge.
It's a refuge. You
Yep.
can't use spinning wing decoys out there. You can't use mojos.
Okay.
They're illegal.
But you can use the swimmers. We asked that question before we brought the swimmers out there. Yeah.
Because we called them. We're like, yeah, we got the truck loaded down. We got the mojos. We got the swimmers. They're like, leave the mojos at home. Oh, why? We can't use the mojos down there. Okay.
Do you guys still got the swimmers though? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, bring those. We can use those.
And then here's another thing. The highest shot you could use up there was 2-shot BB.
2-shot.
Was it 2-shot?
It switches from day to day.
The highest shot you can use out there is 2-shot. You can't use BB. You can't use triple BB out there. Just 2.
Oh.
2-shot
It
or
switches
lower.
it switches because one day they'll be like, all right, the highest you can use because they said they've used 1 shot there. BB.
Or 1-shot. Like I think 1-shot and BB. Like, but most of the time it's 2-shot or lower.
And
which-
the funny thing is,
which-
you couldn't.
I couldn't believe the amount of like rules and regulations they had, which is cool. I'm
You
glad
could
they
only
have
use
some-
2 3/4 too.
What?
You
Or
could
3-inch.
3-inch. That's
3-inch.
what it
You
was.
couldn't use 3.5s. That was another thing that just blew my ever-loving mind.
Yeah.
I could not believe that you couldn't use just any shell that was waterfowl approved out there. It had to be a specific shell. And and that was the best part. We got labeled as the cowboys out there. We had guys. So the way they devised it up, like you got the refuge, which is a big center portion. They've got like 36 fields that are all flooded. And we were
And then
in
they got
one,
marshlands.
and then they got marshland, which is like another 40 plots. And we had one strip that was probably, I'd say, what would you say, 60 yards, 40 yards wide?
Yeah.
And then you had like 10 yards buffer zone on each side of the thing. So like where we were set up, there could have been guys 10 yards behind us set up shooting birds too.
yeah.
And if they went all the way to the other side, they'd have been 70 yards behind us shooting birds. Like, so it's kind of crazy, but it's also cool. And there were guys like 4 plots over. We got back to the launch, and they're like, well, how'd you guys do? We're like, we did great. And they're like, oh, you guys were in 16 there. You're the Cowboys. We go, yeah. They go, you guys are killing them. We went, yeah, we came home with 5 ducks. They're like, oh,
We came home with their limit.
we got our limit. You guys are hooting and hollering. I'm like, we're just a bunch of dumb rednecks.
Well, we also shot a lot of the first time ducks. Like we shot.
Well, like I shot my first pintail there, which you can only shoot one.
Yeah.
We shot 2 mallards, 2 pintail, and a gadwall. Like, I mean, so
But first gadwall for all of us, you know.
and like out there, the pintail hens they resemble a mallard a lot. So it's I can promise you don't want to screw up. Because when you come in to put your ticket in at the end of the night, drop it in that box of what you shot to let them know, there's a CO sitting there to check your birds.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're strict about it. So I'll tell you
And-
what.
There's a CO there to check your birds, and there's also a CO there in case you don't come back to
Check in.
check in.
Which
Because
is
even
also,
if you don't shoot any birds, you
You
have to come back and put 0.
and put it in, which I do like because they take your driver's license number, they take all your information, so they know who you are.
Yeah.
And they have it all. So if you didn't check in at the end of the night, they'll get you.
Now, the nice thing is only one person has to go up to check in. They can go, this guy shot this, you know.
And it's literally on just a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
So it's a nice setup. It just there's some freaking rules there, man.
It's like you got a leader, they give you like a team leader down there, and that guy has to go up and do the check-ins, you know.
Which I'll tell you what,
It's not like person. I guess it's not person by person, but they'll go. We shot 4 pintail. You know, if you say you got 5 and there's 4 of you down there, you're over the limit.
Right.
and
You
I-
shot this many of this and this many of this. You know, it's not like person by person who got it, but you got to put what your group shot for what.
Which, and if I could change when we went down there, so we went down there Halloween. And now we're talking like the St. Mary's River. We had to cross the St. Mary's River to get there. I would rather go down there like mid-November, right during rifle season. I feel like that would just be a 10 times better hunt.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It just, he goes, the nastiest days down here are the best days to hunt. And understandably, like, we could have probably got into a better field while we were down there.
But it's on a draw system.
It's on a draw system. So, and now the guy who picked our field picked it because they're like low cover. I'm like, well, hold on. I'd rather be in a lower cover field closer to the refuge, because we went, so it's like a strip of fields here and then a strip of fields here, farther away from it. We went to the last strip. I was like, no, I'd rather go closer to the refuge. The hell with the cover. Like, as long as you can sit still and have something to hide behind.
You
I
said
feel
that
like we-
at the thing, and then we got out there, and it was like mowed down to the water line on some.
But
of them.
still, you can still shoot birds as long as it looks good. Even if they just fly over, boom, boom, boom. That's a lot of the guys. Their birds weren't even decoying. They were just shooting them as they fly by.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you got to do out there, because you got to think about it. Those birds get shot at morning and night out of every single field.
Yep.
Every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yep. So. That was another good one.
So, anything else exciting happened this weekend?
Indigo. Yeah, baby.
No, I mean, I just had a dinner at my mom's house.
I worked.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, just a couple cookouts, nothing really major to write home about. You went golfing.
I did.
How'd you do? Hold on, that's the real question. How'd you do?
We're not going to discuss that. We just had fun.
Well, hold on, because here's how me and my dad do it when we go golfing. The more strokes I took, the cheaper my game was, because I paid
Absolutely.
less per swing.
No, but the funnier thing is my daughter is set up. My daughter-in-law decides to pull her cart a little bit ahead of
Did you hit the
where
cart?
my daughter-in-law is, and she goes and hits the ball. My daughter hit the ball, and she sliced it bad. Sliced it.
Ooh.
And I wish I would have had it on video, because it'd be great. It hit the cart so hard, it was whack. And all you heard was, fuck! It was a perfect moment. It was just split second, and it was like, what?
Where's the camera for that moment?
Where was the camera?
I will say, I went with James at the same club, Mackinac.
Mackinaw's a fun club. If
And
any,
I'll tell you what, it's a nice little course. It's cheap.
it's
You
challenging.
Don't have to register 2 weeks in advance.
Yep.
It's got a little challenge to it, but it's not hard like Springbrook.
Springbrook's not hard though.
Springbrook is an old cow pasture. No, I mean like
Oh,
hard ground.
Hard ground, yeah.
It's
Oh, no,
all
no, no.
hard ground. Have you ever
No.
played Springbrook?
No, I haven't.
It's like take your chipper to this ground. I mean, it's an old cow pasture that they turned into a golf course.
But at the same point,
It's not a bad course for $20 with
Well-
a cart. At 18, $20 with a cart.
Mackinac has gone to $29 after 3 o'clock
With a cart for 18.
with a cart for 18 holes.
but
So,
if you
but
go
as-
after 8 o'clock up there, it
3
goes
o'clock.
back down. You do like their nighttime golf.
No, that's the 3 o'clock. That's
No,
like-
3 o'clock is
that's
twilight.
Their, that's their
Okay.
twilight golf.
Yeah, twilight is 3 o'clock.
That's another one. I actually kind of want to get you guys out. So Mullet Lake, the Mullet Lake Golf Club. It's a par 3, 9-hole course.
We tried that when they were having a wedding there the one
At
time we went.
4 o'clock they do. I'll have to talk to my dad because my dad knows this more, but it's like September. I think they start at 4 o'clock. They do a twilight golf. It's like $25 with a cart per person. All you can golf.
I want to find somebody that does a nighttime golf.
I was just
That's
about
your-
to talk
that's your
about
deal.
that.
I want to find a nighttime golf.
I was just about to talk about that. Wilderness Golf Course, they've been shut down for a couple of years.
That's
Oh.
the one right if you turn left instead of right.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
Like right before, or sorry, instead of not turn right, but instead of when you turn left, instead of going right before the I-75 on ramp coming off 31, you turn right to go to the Mackinac course. If you turn left, like you're coming down past the Beer to Mac Brewery,
No,
no.
aren't they that
no,
road to the left?
no.
Oh,
Go to Carp Lake, turn by the
Yep.
Carp Lake Golf Course, or Carp Lake General Store and go down that road.
East Gill Road.
Yes,
Yes,
Okay.
Gill Road.
Gill Road. And you know where Wilderness State Park is, how
Yeah.
to get to there.
Yep.
You go down and then you turn
Right.
right.
Okay.
It's about halfway down that straightaway. And it was a red barn, and it was just a small 9-hole course. They used to do, they called it glow golf.
Glow golf.
Yes. We would go out there. We'd start at, well, I guess at this point, what time is it now, Don? 9 o'clock?
8:30.
8:30, 9 o'clock?
No, 9:15.
Quarter after 9. Anyway, so it'd get dark, what, 10,
10.
10:30?
Yep.
And they do it, I think it was Friday or Saturday night. It was during the weekend. And we'd start up 10:30, 10:30, 11, right as it was getting dark.
So,
And we'd go out there and we'd have a ball. There was so much fun.
so
Like,
now I understand that like normally the balls they give you, you put a glow stick in the center.
that's exactly what it was.
Do they light the hole up, and do they have
Yes.
like perimeter lights?
Yes, they
going
do.
down? Okay.
Yep.
That's the only question I have.
We would go
I mean, it seemed kind of stupid. Like, yeah, you get a glow ball. Have fun finding the hole.
Well,
Well, they would go, so, I'd go up, and my dad worked there during Sundays, and I'd go up, and they'd be like, hey, you want to go set up the golf course? Like, yeah, and this was before I actually played the glow golf, when I was younger. I'd take the golf cart, and I'd be cracking glow sticks and sticking them in the ground. You'd have the whites for out of bounds. Reds, you'd put reds next to the,
We put reds at like the 50-yard stakes.
Yep.
plus.
yep, if you've seen a string of white ones, I was out of bounds. If you've seen 2 whites, that was the men's tees, 2 reds was the women's tees. 1 blue was 200, 1 white was
The
100,
150.
150, or it was 150, 100,
And
or
then-
whatever it was.
I think it's 150.
It's
blue,
100, red is 100, 150 is white, and 200 is blue.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
what
see,
it was.
I always get confused because I
Yeah.
want to think the reds are 50s, but I feel like that's way
Yeah.
wrong.
And then you'd put 5 glow sticks around the green, and they were green.
So what did you do to mark the flag? Did you like tape a glow stick to the flag,
Yep.
or oh,
We actually zip tied one to it.
okay.
And then, I forgot what I did. I think you put one in the hole. You took like one of the wristband
Just
ones.
circle ones, and just drop it
Yeah,
in
and
the
just
cup?
drop it in the bottom of the cup so you could see where the cup was.
Oh, that's perfect. That'd be kind
It's
of
been a long time since I set that golf course up. But then you do blue around the ponds, and it was always a challenge because there was
Well,
one
I
thing
mean-
at that golf course. If you hit the sand trap, you didn't know till you got up there and found your ball because we didn't mark the sand traps because there was like 4 on the entire golf course.
that I feel that would be fun, but it's like, hey, there goes my ball. I seen it bounce. Where to go? I feel like that's
they actually
finally
make
glowing done.
balls that glow in the dark without having to use the glow stick,
Uh-huh.
and you use a UV light. You hit it with a UV light, and they glow for up to 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I like the glow sticks better.
I like the glow sticks. I don't know. That's just a personal opinion.
Yep, that was my thing.
I feel like that's kind of like the same thing with fishing. Like me and him have been nighttime fishing burbot a lot. I guess me and you didn't do it. Me and Ellie did it
Yeah.
a lot. We did glow fishing for burbot at night. So we'd leave. Like
We've done some night fishing, and I find that
we'd
the
come, and that was the best part. Is like coming home. We'd come home, have dinner. I'd order a pizza from Piper's. Go pick up a BLT large pizza. Elliot show up at my house at 7:30. we'd go pack to Burt Lake, and we'd get out on the ice, set up by 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And then we'd smash burbot till 3, 4 in the morning and come home. And I mean, but it seemed like every 10 minutes you were reeling up, putting your bait in the glow box, hitting the light, holding it on it for 2 minutes or so, letting it open, dropping it back down the hole, hoping it's glowing. And then it's still glowing. And then, I mean, it just seemed like so.
We went out a couple times, and he was sitting there reeling it up, dropping it down, reeling it up, dropping it down, and I was like, why are you using, he was using one of the, like Rapalas.
Yeah, it was one of the airplane jigs.
Yeah. And I had one of the Lindy jigs. And I cracked I'm like, what color do they like? And he's like, reddish orange. I'm like, all right, cracked a red glow stick, shoved it in there, dropped it down, and I fished for it all night. I never brought mine up.
Never had to change it. Which kind of surprised me, because normally when glow sticks get cold, and especially ice fishing.
Yeah, I mean, after a couple hours you have to change it, but,
Well, because we were running tip ups at that point in time.
Right.
Well,
Me and you weren't.
Well, speaking about fishing, I talked to
Hey, buddy.
Doug over at Catfisher Bait and Tackle over on
27 there on the way to Indian
Yeah,
River, right next to Dave's place, just after Save-A-Lot.
Yep.
9.
And he said that they're on Black Lake, they're catching bass and pike.
27.
They're catching some baby muskies. On mullet, they're catching some bluegill.
Yeah. So, and I've talked now coming from, so I grew up on Black Lake. You're always gonna catch pike out there. That lake, I feel that lake should be like Crooked Lake went to. Crooked Lake went to the 5 pike limit. Only one can be over 24. Because I could take you guys out right now. You want to go catch pike on Black Lake? We'll go out there and catch 20, 30 of them, but they ain't going to be much more than this big. I mean, you're talking 19, 20 inches, just hammer handles, all day long. They're great in a smoker, not going to lie. Great in a smoker. Oh, yeah, they're fantastic.
We were going to try that. I'm glad you did.
I haven't made them. I haven't made our ones yet.
Oh, okay.
I've had it before. That's why I told you we need to do it. So, they taste good on a smoker when they're small. Not going to lie. I've thought about turning them into pike chowder. I'm just trying to think of ways to do this. And it's really, now, given what we have, Crooked Lake has given us a lot of, it's given us a big plus in our panfish, our perch, that's you.
I know, it's in the camper.
Okay, our perch.
My phone.
Our perch, our bluegill, our walleye, like everything you're catching more of them and a lot less little pike. Like we used to go out, I remember when I was fishing, I'd say, even 4 or 5 years ago, to go out on Crooked Lake, I'd buy 5 dozen minnows, 6 dozen minnows, and that might last me till 3 o'clock.
And you'd catch a couple perch.
And it would be pike,
Yep.
pike. Now, I think this year ice fishing, I caught 6 northerns over 30 inches long this year. I mean, it helped it tremendously. And Black Lake's the same way. And now Black Lake's also got crappie coming back into it, I hear. I've never caught one. Never seen one. I mean, I seen one when I was like 15, but I've never caught one out of that lake. So, it's a good little fishery if you know how to fish it. I grew up there. I've learned how to fish that lake. We've missed everything that's good about that lake this time of year because when the bass are spawning, it's a real good spot. I got a few spots out there. And I hope they do something different with it.
Right. Go ahead and count.
Well, I talked to Dave here at Young's in Alanson, and he said here on
14.
Crooked Lake, they're hitting the bluegill. He said they're also hitting the smallmouth and the largemouth. He said the perch are far and few between. He said Burt Lake is kind of the same story.
Which I've always, And I will say this: I've always found it hard to find the perch in the summertime on Crooked Lake. Now that's, yeah, I know. Goodbye. I've always, that's game.
And there's a 5 sitting there.
Yep.
3 and 3/4.
Yep.
What do you do with that?
1, 2,
Count
3,
it.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And 6 for 15.
So, I've fished that lake, and now not to say I don't catch the occasional nice perch. Like when I do in the summertime, when I catch a perch, it's usually a keeper perch. But everywhere I go, it's bluegill, 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 bluegill. Oh, there's a big perch, and it's a 10-inch perch.
Right.
So I mean, it's a big perch. But it's mostly bluegill in the summertime. I figured out where to catch them in the wintertime, but to catch them regularly, it's
Far and few between.
It's hard to find them.
Well,
there is one spot you can go and catch them regularly, 12, 13 inches long, but you got to know that exact spot. And it's only a certain time of year.
yeah, we're not going to tell you guys where to go catch them. We'll just tell you that they're out there on the lake.
I'll give you. I'm not gonna do the legwork. You want to fish them? Come find them. We'll just tell you can catch them on Crooked Lake. And I mean, I've seen some big 13, 14 inchers come out of that lake.
If you guys want a weekly fishing report, let us know in the comment. We'll let you know. We'll talk to the bait shops around the area, let you know what's hitting.
And we'll be more than happy to give you at least what they're hitting, what lake they're catching. The rest of it's up to you. We can't put the fish on the hook for you.
I can tell you right now, the Bear River is completely slowed down. So is the Boyne River.
Yeah, that's always. Well, the Boyne River is also a nice little trout stream.
It is for brookies and browns.
Well, rainbows too.
And rainbows.
I've pulled a few nice rainbows. And surprisingly, steelhead hang out in that river all year long. And I mean like big steelhead, like 20, 25 inches. I've caught a few 5-6 pound steelhead in the middle of July out of that river. Nice little river.
The breakwall in Petoskey, they're catching bass, they're catching some perch.
Yep. You just got to watch out for the people swimming.
Yep. Be mindful of the people swimming.
Definitely the biggest thing I can tell you is if you're going to come to Petoskey and go to the breakwall, stay away from the end where it turns to metal. Because the fish will hang out there. I've dove and found fish there, hanging out by the rocks, by that. Their big majority is hanging out by the rocks where they can take cover from everybody swimming and all the commotion and all the boats.
Yep.
I think it's about that time.
It's getting to be about that time.
Yeah, it's getting to be about that time.
That was a good one. I mean, I think you guys want a fishing report? We'll do this. I mean, we'll do fishing reports every week. We'll do hunting reports when hunting season comes.
Yep, when hunting season comes, we'll let you know what season it is.
Waterfowl, bird flights, deer movements. I mean, it's...
Yep. We do have a benefit dinner for a 7-year-old kid down in Midland on Saturday. He's got cancer. It's going to be at Riders, which is out on Bay City Road.
Okay.
Thunder Road Magazine will be there.
There's also a benefit thing going on for the motorcycle that got hit at the Elmira racetrack.
Yep.
When is that and
I'll
where?
have to look it up. It's down in Elmira at the Northern Michigan racetrack.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Another
I'll
one.
get the date for it, but
Get a date and the information, and we're
Yep.
more than happy if you guys want to come out, show your support. Well appreciated. That's
Okay.
a lot of what we want to try and do is also get help to those in need.
This is episode number 4. We appreciate everybody that's listening and watching, and we hope to keep you coming back.
Keep it between the lines and stay safe, everybody.
yep.
Good night.